there! In this video, I am going to talk about how to study geography with your kids and have it be really fun. Geography is one of my favorite topics. I love all things social studies related, and this is an area that we've just really had a lot of fun with over the years. So I'm going to show you lots and lots of things that we've done, and I would recommend picking one or two so it's not overwhelming, but at least you will have lots of options. If you live in Alberta, many of you have kids who participate in the Geography Alive classes with Daniel Allers. So if your child is doing that class this year, that monthly class, this would be a great way to continue some of the learning at home. And if you're not participating in that, this video will give you lots and lots of ideas of things that you can just do at home together to get your kids excited about geography, learn about the people and different places on the map, and just a whole slew of ideas. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So why do we even want to do geography with our kids? Why is that important? And I think there's several reasons, but first of all, the world we live in is getting smaller all the time. With the internet, many kids will play games online or read blogs or go to YouTube channels. And I think it's neat for them when there's, a YouTuber from Copenhagen talking about something, they go, oh yeah, Copenhagen, Denmark. And so I think that's neat. I also think when you do any kind of history, it really makes it more relevant and makes more sense in their minds when they know where Europe is and what a big thing it was to come across that Atlantic Ocean. And so I think it's important for history. And also another reason is I think it helps our children become more compassionate, kinder people when they understand that people all over the world live very differently than us. And it's not wrong or weird. It's just every culture is different with different traditions. And I think it's just the part of a wholesome education that our children understand those things. So those are just a few reasons why I think it's important. I'm sure there's more. But anyways, so how I've kind of approached geography is just lots of good books and some games. So we'll jump into those. But the big thing that we did is we learned some geography songs. So we used these geography songs by Larry and Kathy Troxel, and you can buy, you definitely want the book, but you can also get the CD, well, the book and the CD as a pack, but you can get the CD on iTunes as well. And I always personally like to have things on my phone because that's how we listen to things. So before you turn off the video and say, okay, my kids are never going to sing geography songs, you can hear my little trick. I always like to give my kids choices. My mom always laughs because they're funny choices. But anyways, so when I approached doing these geography songs with my kids at the beginning of our last school year, I said, okay, so we're going to learn some geography songs for each continent to help us learn where the countries are. And my 9-year-old son didn't jump on the idea right away, and my daughter wasn't sure. So I said, so we can do it that way, and what we're going to do is for each continent, or depending on how populated the continent is, there is a song or sometimes more than one song, and so we're going to listen to the song, learn the words, which are, the countries, and then we're going to point to the country as we sing the song on this lovely map set that I bought. So that is my plan for how we're going to do some geography this year. I said, now, if you don't want to do this as part of our morning time with me, that is okay. You don't have to. And both my kids are like, really? We don't? I said, nope, you don't have to. See, the neat thing about this map set that I got is with the set comes, now we colored this, they come blank. It helped us to kind of separate the countries of Europe by having it colored. But anyways, I said the neat thing about this map set is that in addition to the map with all the countries' names on it, they also have maps, the same map, only without any of the names on it. So I said, so if you don't want to learn the songs and point to them, then I will give you the map with the names, and I also will give you a blank map, and you can just go ahead and, you know, as part of your daily school, you can just go ahead and several times a week, we'll just fill in all the names of the country, and you can just copy them and write them all in, and you can learn your geography that way. Well, now all of a sudden, learning some songs and pointing out the countries on the map sounded pretty good, because copying the names of countries onto a map did not sound that exciting. So given the option, they were pretty on board with learning these geography songs. So like I said, I always like to present choices. So the first song, the first continent that you do is always the trickiest. But once you kind of get into a groove with it, it really does get easier. So if the first one's hard, stick with it. And so for each continent, like I said, they have a song. And like, for example, Europe, they have it broken into a few different songs because of the number of countries. So then we would listen and sing the song. We just kind of start off by listening to it and finding the countries on the map. And then as we got better with that area that we were doing, then we would sing along with the CD and point to the countries as we sang. So that worked really well. So like I said, we used the geography songs, and that was a great way for us to learn the names of the countries, how to pronounce them properly, and then where they were, and we worked on just one continent at a time. So that was kind of the where things are aspect of how we approach geography. And then to make it more relevant to them, we really liked this book from Usborne. And this is the Usborne Peoples of the World, and it was just fantastic, actually. So each continent had its own section, and with just great pictures, and it was nice information, but not too much. Now I did this with my 3rd grade son and 6th grade daughter, and I definitely wouldn't do this particular book with kids really much younger than that, because it is a decent amount of information, and then, you know, it talks about the different parts of Europe and so forth. So that was a really nice way to kind of talk about the people and culture. This particular year, we didn't go into real specifics into each country. We've done things like that other years, but this year we just kind of learned about the regions, where the countries were, and some, you know, things about the culture. So because we were doing world history, and so it just fit in nicely to that. So we have our kind of mapping skills with the geography songs. The maps that I use are just beautiful. Like I said, this one we'd only colored in one country so far, so you can see that's how they come. And they are from Homeschool in the Woods, and I'll put a link to that below. And it was their world map set, and they're just lovely. So there's maps. Now they're not like, this is as zoomed in as they get. You know, they don't get into real specifics, but for our purposes, they were perfect. I kept these in a sheet protector, printed them out. You just buy it as a PDF download. I printed them, and then we had these in our morning time binder, and so when part of our morning time was our geography, so that was just always right there. And those were nice, and like I said, they also have them with the same thing, just without the country names on them. And they have it's a whole set of maps. So they have maps that show areas in ancient times, like, you know, the ancient Mesopotamia, ancient Greece. And so we use that as part of our history. And it's just such an amazing resource to have as part of your school, homeschool. And I really recommend getting it, because I think it's something, if you like geography, it's something that you'll be pulling from a lot. So like I said, we had our mapping, and then we learned about, you know, some of the cultures. And then really the other thing that I think is fantastic, and that is a book that you will come to time and time again in your homeschool, is this book by Jamie Martin, and it's Give Your Child the World. By Jamie Martin. I will put a link. And this is an amazing resource. I can't say enough good things about it. In the beginning of the book, it kind of tells Jamie's story. They have 2 adopted children, so it tells their family story. And then the bulk of the book is divided into regions. So you'll have, you know, Europe or the Middle East, things like that. And it's full of book suggestions by age. So they'll have picture books for, I think they start recommending about age 4, I would say. Yeah, so they have, you know, this is multicultural, so ages 4 to 6. And then they'll have for, you know, kind of like middle age, and then up to, I think, about age 12 or something. So they have the whole gamut of picture books to chapter books. And we've read as many as we can get our hands on, and they're great. And I think it really is the best way to do geography with your children is by the picture books. Even if you have older kids, they're very informative, and to see the pictures, and it gives them a sense of how the people live and what they eat and their culture. And then the chapter books, my daughter has been working through those, and we don't do every one, but like I said, it's a resource I pull out time and time again, and they're just some really amazing chapter books too. So I think if you wanted to do, you know, a simple geography study, you could do it with just a few resources. I think the maps are great. Get that map set. I think the geography songs are key. That's really important. And then I think this is a nice addition, but you could, you know, easily do without it and just take books out from the library. And then having this book, and I would just pick one region at a time, and I wouldn't, if I was planning it, I probably wouldn't be super strict in my plans. We like to be flexible. And if we were going to read about the Middle East, we would learn the Middle East geography song, we'd point to those countries, and then out of the library, we would just check out as many books as we could find from here and read about them. Maybe, you know, pick one chapter book from each region that you either read to your kids or older kids can read to themselves. And by doing that, that is, I mean, you're giving your children a really rich foundation in geography. So the resources that I had just shown you, like I said, I did just this past year with my 3rd and 6th grader. Some other great ways to supplement learning. Like I said, that could be more than enough on its own, but some other ways, if you're really into it, is for the book from Jamie Martin here, she has done for several years a summer book club. And so within that, for each region, she has on her website, and I'll post a link to a couple of them, but like I said, she's done it for a few years. So she'll have a link to different recipes from that region, different videos that she's picked out, you know, about that area. So that's a really great way if you want to add more and it's not overwhelming. The other thing is too, is YouTube is a resource that I use all the time with our kids. You know, as we're learning about an area, often as they're eating breakfast, I will look up a video. You know, tourism ones are nice just to kind of get an overview of what things look like. Google Earth is a great option. You know, you can go and see those images. So just, I think in any way that we can make it come alive is really great for them. And then I also want to show you some things that we've used when the kids, what I've liked when the kids are younger. So once again, I'm such a big fan of Usborne books. I used to sell them, but I had to stop because I was my own best customer. It was getting expensive. But anyways, so to learn about, you know, these are, I would say, starting about, you know, grade 1, even kindergarten if your kid was into it, not if they weren't. These first encyclopedia series are lovely, and this has a variety of things in it. But in relation to geography, it has just really beautiful spreads on the different habitats, you know, climates. So this one is in the desert, and it's a nice amount of information for a little bit younger kids. This one is grasslands. So these are just beautiful books. I love them. And this is part of the first encyclopedia series of our world at kind of a level a little bit higher than that, so that it would be more what I would do with older kids, is it's this book, Usborne Encyclopedia of Planet Earth. Once again, it has lots in it, but in particular, I liked the areas, you know, about the different climates and habitats. So this one, you know, as you can see, has a lot more information than the other one. But I think it's just neat, you know, for kids to learn about it and see those different areas. So this is a great resource. For younger kids too, I love the Usborne Picture Atlas of Animals. It doesn't have a lot of information in it, but the maps are neat, and it's kind of, the kids sort of like to look through it, and it shows, you know, pictures of different animals in the different areas. So, you know, just tons of stuff one could do, but these are just so nice to have and such beautiful pictures. So that's great. Also from Usborne, we've really liked their the sticker picture atlas of the world. So when we're doing a region, then I'll pull out the stickers for that page, and as I'm reading something, if there wasn't anything I wanted them to look at, you know, they can, each day that we read about it, they'll pick, these are all, it's blank except for the map, and then all of those pictures are stickers. So, you know, that's just ways to make it fun and interesting. I think geography can be really neat, and it doesn't have to be dry and boring. So we've loved these. My daughter has loved throughout the years these sticker dolly dressing costumes around the world from Usborne. So once again, when we're on a certain region, then we will pick the, you know, the page that goes with that. So this one was, you know, a South African wedding, and she, you know, put all the stickers on. So, and I made it like a treat, like, okay, we've done this area now you get to do your page. And that was really fun. Like I said, when she was a little bit younger. But so just, yeah, try to make it fun and alive and interesting. It is something that you should all be excited about doing. All right, so kind of the last thing that I wanted to touch on was how we incorporated some games into our geography study. So, and like I said, all these things that I'm showing you, we've done in, you know, over a course of years. We haven't done it all in 1 year, but it's a topic that I'm interested in, so we weave it in, you know, kind of as we go. But so some games that we've really liked. The first one I want to talk about is the Cardline Globetrotter, and I really like, we also have Cardline Animals. These are some of our favorite, most used games. So this one goes through, and it has the little cards for each, well, not every country, but lots of them. And so it will show you the country here on the one side, and then basically the game rules are really simple. You have them out in a line, and you try to place them, and there's different categories. So the different categories, and the only category we used was just the square mileage of the country, so just the size of it, right? So then you just would put, you know, Spain, is it bigger or smaller than France? And if you put it in the right spot, then you get rid of your card, and you're just trying to get rid of your card. So that was super fun. However, we play Cardline Animals all the time, but the kids found it a little tricky. And so I'm gonna make a separate video that shows you my trick on how we kind of adapted the game and made it really fun and less overwhelming. So you can check my channel for that. But yes, Cardline Globetrotter is one that we really liked. Also, we are huge fans of the Ticket to Ride games, and oh my goodness, so this is the original one, and I think we have almost all of the other ones. There's, you know, Ticket to Ride Europe, there's Ticket to Ride, there's like a Asia expansion pack that isn't a standalone game, but that builds off of this one. We have the Europe one, the Scandinavia, we love them all, they're great. And so those are a big hit. We've liked to play that, and I think they're kind of a fun way to work in geography. I know we had done the Scandinavian Ticket to Ride, or if they called it Nordic, the Nordic countries. And the kids were like, we can't even say half the names. And then once we did that area in our geography songs, they're like, oh, Copenhagen, yay. Anyways, so that was fun. And then this game is, I believe, no longer being made, but if you can find it, there's 10 Days in Europe, and it is so much fun. If you've ever played Racco, it's kind of a similar idea for the gameplay, but anyways, this is a great one. So we've had lots of fun with that. And then also for younger kids, there's the Junior Ticket to Ride, so the Ticket to Ride First Journey, and this has been a fun one. My 6-year-old likes it, and it's fun enough that my big kids will play it with her. We, of course, prefer the older one, but for younger kids, that's a great way to introduce them to the game. So it's a fun addition to any study. All right, so hopefully you are excited to do some geography with your kids, and I didn't completely overwhelm you with options, but just pick a couple things. And if your kids are really little, then I wouldn't start right away with the songs. You know, just have them learn about the different regions and learning about the animals in the regions or the types of homes people have in those regions is a great way to do it. And you know, if your kids are a little bit older, like I said, we've really enjoyed the Geography Alive classes. We've done those since the very first year, and my kids look forward to them every month. It's not geography every year, but anyways, it is this coming fall, so the kids are really excited for that. But yeah, just pick a couple things. You know, I really think if you have this book, Give Your Child the World, and you pick some books, and don't pick all of them if that's overwhelming. Just pick a couple and read about them and look at your maps, maybe learn the songs and watch some YouTubes on them. And I just think you could make it a really fun, enjoyable experience. You're never going to learn everything about the world we live in, so that shouldn't be the goal, but just some exposure is just a great foundation for your child's education. So have fun with it, be excited, and I guarantee if you're enthused, your children will be also. Enjoy.